for 33 years. We've raised our 10 kids. Yes, 10 kids, all in the district. Yes, that is 10 kids. But our first was actually the company that we started, Davisware. It was a global software company that we founded in 1988 from our kitchen table right here in the district. And why that's important is I was just 17 years old when we started our company. And 1988 was a year when software wasn't an industry, nor was it a degree that you could even go get in college. And so all of that is to say that I couldn't vote, I couldn't buy a drink for my clients, nor could I rent a car. And yet somehow that business allowed Dan and I to create hundreds of jobs right here in the district and build our own version of the American dream. I'm sure you may wonder why I would give all of that up and what would compel me as a complete political outsider to give all of that up and run for public office. And I know there's a lot of people that surround me that would probably ask the same question. The answer is that I'm running as a political outsider because Washington has lost touch with the real people and how to support that American dream. That American dream that we executed is no longer available to our kids and our grandkids, and especially not in this state. I love this state, and I love our kids, and I think we are responsible for creating a different legacy than the one that we are handing down to our kids right now. We can't afford any more career politicians who choose power and party over people. We have to take back this state, and as we mentioned, this seat is the most opportunistic seat to take. I'm not running to run, I'm running to win, and I'm gonna apply the business strategies that we spent 33 years using analytics and data, and being focused on delivering results. The results are where you're going to be investing your time and your treasure. And I want this to be the best investment that you will ever make in yourself and in your future. We need proven job creators in Congress who will work with fiscal sanity to cut taxes and corruption, cut the red tape, and work for families and entrepreneurs. In Congress, I plan to put forward my concept of the digital dome. We must stop the invasion that's happening today through the devices that each one of you are holding in your hands. Parents need help protecting their kids from those same devices and those predators that are invading their bedrooms. And it's the government's responsibility to help do that. We need leaders who have expertise in AI, in data centers, blockchain, and cryptocurrency. And I'll use my decades of experience in working in immigration to champion a system that works for everyone. I will protect our neighborhoods by upholding the rule of law and unapologetically honor families by protecting parental rights for education and healthcare. God made parents the experts and not our government. It's the government's job to protect our freedom, not take our freedom away. Our state's best export is our children, and we cannot afford to let the government take over them and evict them from our state. I'm Jennifer Davis, and I hope together that we can take this state back and make Illinois 8 great. Thank you.
The first question is for Mark Rice.
Mark, what specific actionable policies are you proposing to lower the cost of basic necessities like groceries and energy?
Well, that's a great question. Did I mention before, my name is Mark Rice. Been an entrepreneur my whole life. I come from Texas, and where do I come from? The energy business. I started the largest energy brokerage firm in the state, one of the largest in the largest in the Midwest too, and one of the largest in the whole country. So when you ask about lowering prices on energy specifically, but energy is also in everything. Nowadays when we shop, we're shopping online. That goes through data centers. I provide energy for data centers. And we do that in a way that saves people not millions of dollars, but hundreds of millions of dollars. Right, Nathan, Miles, Max, right? You can attest to that. That's what I do for a living. So I am quite the expert at exactly that. So I have 3 words, which a friend of mine actually has a trademark. Max Chris, it's drill, baby, drill. We have got a lot of resources under our feet. We need to build nuclear power plants. We haven't built one in, 20, 30 years. We need to do everything we can to bring down the price of energy, which is in our groceries, in our homes, it's in everything, and I'm the guy to do it. Thank you.
I have a follow-up. Are you concerned though with these data centers and AI centers popping up in this district that a lot of energy and water, for the coolant? Are you concerned about the environmental impact this is going to have on residents or the infrastructure strain?
So there's a little bit of infrastructure there, but instead of saying, politicians, and I'm not a politician, my whole hat and my slogan is no more career politicians. How about this, Amy? No and hell no. We need more data centers. We need to bring more jobs into the district. And the environmental concerns, for the most part, are really a problem for India and China. And we need to stop behaving like our leftist leadership with Pritzker in there with this Green New scam, which essentially we're all paying for, but we don't see it. So I'm for common sense solutions to bring more jobs, to bring even more data centers into the area, but they're not going to run off intermittent power like wind and solar and sun, because it doesn't blow all the time. It doesn't, sun doesn't shine all the time. So we need to build more power plants. We need more natural gas. And thankfully, I've got a friend in Donald Trump. He agrees with me 100%. You're already seeing it at the gas pump, right? Yeah. But unfortunately, Pritzker's raised taxes on gasoline. But with common sense conservatives like me, we can get in there and stop the nonsense. Thank you.
Jennifer, I'll repeat the question. What specific actionable policies are you proposing to lower the cost of basic necessities like groceries and energy?
Yeah. So the basic costs of groceries and energy both are tied together with energy. So as Mark said, we have to be energy independent. So focusing on energy independence within our country is absolutely paramount to making sure that the cost of living goes down. The other place that the cost of living can go down is by doubling the salt tax instantly. So we in the state, we at the federal level can no longer, we can't control your property taxes, but we can do is offset the cost of those property taxes at a federal level. And while that isn't specific to energy or groceries, it is reducing the cost of average Americans of being able to support themselves. I think beyond that, everything that we do has to create opportunity for us locally. We have to be fixated on manufacturing and bringing manufacturing opportunities to our state and to our district. And we can do that through bringing federal funding in to support those opportunities and that infrastructure. The last thing that we need to do, especially for all of the cities that are on Chicago water, is we have got to help support the water project for the city of Schaumburg. Thank you.
To Jennifer, what actions would you take at the federal level to ensure Illinois receives its fair share of infrastructure funding without raising taxes?
Yeah, so infrastructure is where the federal government can help us the most, and the most specific way that we can do that is to be epically aware of the needs of the district themselves. So I mentioned the water project for the city of Schaumburg. That water project allows them to circumvent the city of Chicago and allows them to not pay 5 times what the people of the city of Chicago are paying for water. And so that gives all of the opportunities. So when I think about all of the projects that are in the district, we have to work with the local mayors to understand what those projects are and how those can be federally funded. And having a strong knowledge of what goes on in the district is going to give us the ability to work with the federal government to support that.
You want me to say answer, or you want to answer? Nope, that's okay. Something that Jennifer said, to bring manufacturing jobs back, and we need federal funding to do that. That's all fine and good, but what we need to do is we need to get government out of the way. We need to lower taxes. We need to lower taxes on working families. We got to lower taxes on individuals. We've got to lower the cost of living to encourage people to move here and to create jobs instead of leave, like McDonald's just announced the other day, and Boeing and Citadel and so many places are leaving. And that's because we have Pritzker and we've got Democrats like Raja, who thank God is leaving, layering on all kinds of regulations. For every one new federal dollar, we need to eliminate 10. The government's too big. We've got to reduce the size and scope of government, and we've got to make Illinois a great place to live again and a great place to create jobs. I've done that with my own business and in my own life, and we can do it again, but we got to get rid of these leftists. We got to get common sense conservatives back into power, and I'll rely on you to help me do that. Thank you.
This question will go to Mark. Do you support modifying the tax code, for example, earned income tax credit, to provide relief to lower and middle income families facing high living costs?
Yes, I do. Our taxes are way too high. You know what got me into politics in the first place? You older folks, if you're as old as I am, you might remember Steve Forbes. I was a delegate for Steve Forbes. Steve Forbes ran for president of the United States on the policy of a flat tax, a much lower tax. I think it was 18%. And then just eliminating taxes for people who earned under like $100,000 altogether. We're overtaxed, we're overregulated, and we can change it. There are a lot of good people in Congress. I go visit these people, senators, representatives. I'll be in Mar-a-Lago next weekend. I get to visit these people. We can actually do it. There's enough of us in there, not in Illinois, but nationally. We Republicans, we conservatives, we're large and in charge. And with adding me to the red column, I could be the vote. It could be just me, right? I could be the one vote that puts us over the top so that we can do some of these things, and we really can do it. So I'm fired up about it, and I'm fired up that you're all here because we're going to do it.
Would you like the question repeated? Okay, was that a yes?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.